Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Emma Keys. I'm a personal trainer, fitness instructor, powerlifter and nutrition coach. I just want to start off by saying a huge thank you to everyone who liked, shared, commented on my last video. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's just an intro to me. If you don't know me, letting you know who I am, what I do, so go back and watch that. I work and powerlift with Urban Barbell and have done for the last 5 years. And basically why I set up this channel is because I want to reach out to people who would have been like me 5 years ago, who just had an interest in strength training but didn't know where to start, felt a little bit intimidated by the whole experience. So hopefully I can break all of those barriers down and encourage someone to start their strength training journey. Fingers crossed. So what I want to do in my first few videos is kind of cover some basics. Today I just wanted to go through some strength training terminology. That sometimes can be a barrier, especially if you might have downloaded a generic program off the internet, you're kind of looking at it and you don't really know what some of the terms mean. So we're going to go through more basic terms today. We can touch on some slightly more advanced ones, the things you might have heard, not sure what it meant, or you might hear someone talking about and you're going to know what they're talking about, so they're important to know. A repetition or a rep is a complete motion of a particular exercise. So for example, if we were to take a squat, that would mean ascending and descending through a full range of motion, and that means you have completed 1 rep. And repeating this 10 times means you have done 10 reps. Reps performed will vary depending on the particular program you are on or phase of training that you are in. The biggest mistake that I have made personally when it comes to training and reps is not performing every single one to the best of my ability. It's really tempting as a beginner to push on as heavy as you can, and that's just not very sustainable. I would really recommend always putting your technique first. You should never really be pushing yourself to the point of failure, especially not as a beginner. There isn't really much benefit to that. You're better off dropping the weight back a little bit if you have any technical issues that you may need to work through. Long term, that's going to help you avoid a situation where you might completely need to break a lift down technically to fix those small problems that you might have avoided over a long period of time. Train smarter, not harder. In strength training, a lot of the time, less really does mean more. A set is the specific number of reps that you perform. 2 sets of 10 reps means you performed 10 reps 2 separate times. Much like reps, sets will vary depending on the type of program you are on or the phase of training that you are in. It's important to pay attention to what you're doing and make sure you perform the correct amount. I will always try and keep track of what I'm doing, because if I am training with other people and having a great time, I will get distracted, and there is nothing more frustrating than forgetting what set you are on. One easy way to remember what set you are on is to take the pin from a rack. Maybe pop the pin into the number of sets you have done. Just an easy way to remember. You could create a system with your recordings if you record your training. So maybe tell yourself if you have 5 sets, you're going to record set 1, 3 and 5, or maybe set 2 and set 4. That way you can look back through your camera roll and you're going to know whereabouts you are. Another easy thing to do then would be maybe make a note in your notebook. So maybe just make a tick, 2 ticks, however amount of ticks that you want to put down for the sets that you are in. But there's nothing worse than forgetting where you are, wondering how many you've done, wondering how many you have left. So you're better off just keeping track from the start. A cue is essentially a command. They are short 2 to 3 word instructions that we use to correct a lifter while they are lifting. I might say to a client who is deadlifting, shoulders back, chest up. That is 2 different cues that will instantly improve the lifter's positioning and also allow them to complete the set to the best of their ability. Delayed onset muscular soreness, or more commonly known as DOMS, is that localized, uncomfortable burning sensation or stiffness that you might feel 12 to 24 hours after a heavy session. It is caused by a prolonged and sustained period of exercise that pushes your muscles hard and forces them to adapt and repair themselves. It doesn't always have to be a brand new exercise. Maybe you picked up a slightly heavier weight this week, or you decided to perform an extra few reps. Exercise can cause tiny little micro tears that will need repairing. It is totally normal and it is also temporary. I have found that moving through it definitely helps me recover a little bit faster. A lot of clients are obviously aware of DOMS, they're just not 100% sure of what it is. I really would recommend, if you are sore, to continue on with your sessions anyway. In my experience, it really does help you recover a bit faster. Rest sounds like a really simple concept, and essentially it is. It's just a really important aspect of your training and recovery and can have a big impact on how you perform. If you are on a tight time schedule, I would recommend being aware of your rest periods and maybe setting a timer. Ultimately, you will know best. You will need to take enough time to make sure you are recovered enough for your next set, but not too long that you start to lose focus. If you want to improve your fitness, maybe challenge yourself with shorter rest periods, but only you will know what is appropriate for you. And some days you're going to have more energy than others, so just be aware of that too. But also be aware of the time that you do have, because you want to get the most out of your training that you can, and we want to be able to finish everything that is prescribed to us on our program. PB is an abbreviation for personal best, and PR is an abbreviation for personal record. They mean the same thing. They're terms we use when we hit a new weight in the gym. Maybe we've hit a new weight for a 1 rep max, or maybe we've used a new weight for a set of a particular exercise. Either way, it indicates improvement, and it should definitely be noted and also celebrated. 1RM means 1 rep max, and this indicates the amount of weight that we can lift for 1 rep of a particular exercise. Sometimes if I'm working with a new lifter, we might work from an estimated max, and basically what that means is we have guessed that person's 1 rep max because they might not be training with us for long enough that we have specific numbers to work from. Having information like this is really important so we can calculate weights that have been programmed for you. For example, if I have programmed for you a 4x6 on squats at 70%, if you can squat 100 kilos, you need to do 70 kilos for 4x6. As the percentage increases, so too does the weight. And to really get the most from your training numbers need to be as accurate as possible. Bracing is a technique used for stabilizing the spine and the torso through breathing and contraction of the abdominal muscles. It can strengthen your core, protect your back, and gives you more power throughout your lifts. One way to understand how to brace is to imagine someone's going to come up and punch you in the stomach. You're going to tense up as hard as you can to protect everything that's inside. So think of that squeezing sensation. It can be a hard concept to grasp and can take a lot of practice. And you should be focusing on your breathing, contracting your abs to help you get as tight as you possibly can under the bar. A superset is when you complete 2 different exercises back to back with a little to no rest in between sets. Supersets can include same muscle group exercises, opposing muscle group exercises, or also unrelated muscle group exercises. There are many different ways that this can be implemented, but I like to superset smaller exercises as a way to improve my cardiovascular fitness and also to save some time. Tempo is how fast or slow an exercise can be performed. This can vary from sport to sport or from program to program. What we're most used to doing here is a 3 to 5 second tempo on the downward part of a movement. So again, tempo can vary greatly from program to program, but essentially the definition remains the same. A spotter is someone who watches over you as you perform maybe a rep or a set of a particular exercise. We're all human and we're definitely not all perfect, so sometimes things can go wrong and you might need someone to lift the bar back up to a starting position. So physically, it's obviously very beneficial, but also psychologically, it can really help you feel a little bit more comfortable and secure, and it's just one less thing for you to have to worry about. If you're lifting in a club, a lot of the time the people around you would nearly volunteer to give you a spot. If you are new to the gym and you're in a commercial gym where you might not know anyone, it can seem really daunting to go up and ask someone to spot you. But honestly, the majority of people would only love to help. They really won't mind. If you have no choice but to train on your own, there should also be safety bars on the rack that you should be able to lift up to an appropriate height to keep you safe throughout. For me, accessory exercises are usually performed after our main lifts, which would be squat, bench, and deadlift. Again, that can vary sport to sport and program to program. And what it doesn't mean is that they are any less important. They're probably of equal importance. They are additional movements that are more focused and work on isolating muscle groups. They can include exercises like lunges, bicep curls, and most back exercises. Knurling is a pattern on the shaft of a barbell. It is intended to improve friction between your hands and the bar, which improves grip. Knurling on a barbell can vary greatly, but it is highly recommended. You may train in a gym with barbells that don't have much knurling or knurling that isn't that rough, and we would recommend using chalk as a substitute to improve your grip. It can dramatically improve all lifts. It's not just for improving your deadlift. Knurling can also help with squats by gripping onto your clothing and allowing you to maintain more upper back tension, and that will help you avoid any slipping sensation you might feel of the bar down your back. And if you feel like it's kind of starting to hurt your hands, there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Maybe wear a little bit more chalk, but you're going to have to accept that that's just one of those things that happens. You're going to develop these lovely welts, but look at them as a badge of honor. Flaky, yellow badges of honor.
Wow.
The more serious then you get with your strength training, you will hear the words volume, intensity, and frequency a lot. Those terms are a little bit more advanced, so we're just going to quickly touch on those just so you're aware of what they are, but we will learn more about these things in later videos. Volume can be measured in different ways, but it generally means the total amount of work that you do. Greater volumes provide larger doses of training and produces a greater stimulating effect on muscle fibers, which encourages growth. Intensity is used to describe the difficulty of an exercise and might usually mean how heavy a particular weight is, and it's typically based on the amount of weight that you lift. Frequency is just a way of saying how often. How many times you may perform a particular lift on a given exercise can depend on the amount of volume you've already done that week. So that's all the terms we're going to go through today. If you think I've left any out that you would like to be added, please leave a comment down below and let me know. We can have a discussion about it. If you need any more clarification on the terms that I might have listed, head over to my Instagram. If you don't follow me already, send me a message. I would love to answer any questions that you do have. So again, guys, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. It would really help my channel grow a lot. If you would like to see more videos like this in the future, then please subscribe to my channel. Again, it will be much appreciated if you could take a few seconds to do that. But that's it for now. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you next week.